The Demon King always thinks I'm secretly in love with him. Chapter 102 to Chapter 104. Zhouying, it's Zhouying! Someone exclaimed. The peak of the Tingyan sect was filled with people. Dark clouds rolled in the sky. Layers upon layers of clouds pressed very low. Strong winds swept across the ground, passing through the forest and through the crowd, causing everyone's clothes to flutter. The Tingyan sect's sect master, elders, and the city lord of Phoenix City stood on a high platform in front of the main hall of the main peak, looking battered and exhausted. Countless disciples followed them, raising their weapons, surrounding the eternal night devil and the others on a flat area of the main peak. The flat area was full of corpses, and among the cultivators' corpses were 1 or 2 members of the demon race. This time, the Tingyan sect's elders were almost completely wiped out. More than half of the elders and experts of the other sects were also killed. Both sides suffered heavy casualties. On the secondary peaks around the main peak, the remaining cultivators of the major sects of the mortal world gathered together, fully armed, and set up an inescapable net around them. Looking down from the sky, the Tingyan sect was full of people. At this time, these people raised their heads to look at Zhouying in the air. Bo Yang followed Zhouying and floated down to the main peak. Zhouying! Zhao Qing'er, who was standing with Zhao Zhongmen, recovered from her shock and rushed over in surprise and joy. You're back? Seeing that she was alive, Zhouying felt relieved. He held her shoulder and nodded with a smile. I'm back. Then he looked Zhao Qing'er up and down and asked, Are you okay? Zhao Qing'er shook her head. I'm fine. Her beautiful face was flushed with surprise, and her eyes were filled with admiration and surprise. Zhouying, your cultivation has become so high. Did you come back especially to save me? Zhouying nodded. Zhao Qing'er's face instantly turned red, and her eyes were full of bright light. Zhouying. At this time, a slender figure walked out from behind the Phoenix City Lord. Like a fairy descending from the heavens, she floated down from the high platform and came to Zhouying's side. She called out softly to Zhouying. She was Feng Ming, another member of Zhouying's harem. Zhouying smiled and said to Feng Ming, You're here too? Feng Ming lowered her head slightly, her face a little red. Zhao Qing'er looked at Zhouying and then looked at Feng Ming. Perhaps it was because of a woman's sixth sense that her expression became a little strange. Under countless gazes, Zhouying's 2 harem members met. When everyone's attention was on Zhouying, only Bai Yang's eyes were fixed on the eternal night demon king in the open space in front of him. That person stood in the middle of the crowd. His clothes were complete, and he wore a pitch-black robe. He looked dignified. His gaze was calm, as if he didn't care about the thousands of soldiers and horses around him. Master. Bo Yang couldn't help but open his mouth and walk towards him. Zhouying was originally talking to his 2 harem members, but when he saw Bo Yang's movements from the corner of his eye, he ignored the subtle feelings between the harem members and hurriedly blocked Bo Yang's path. What do you want to do? Zhao Qing'er's expression changed slightly. She knew Bo Yang's true identity, and she was worried that if others knew Bo Yang's true identity, it would affect Zhouying. Feng Ming saw Bo Yang's true face for the first time. She was a little curious. Who is he? Zhouying ignored her and stared at Bo Yang. What do you want to do? His eyes clearly said, Don't mess around. Bo Yang smiled slightly and continued to walk forward. Zhouying blocked his path. Move. Zhouying clenched his fists. Everyone's gaze finally landed on Bo Yang. Many people started to talk. Who is that? Zhao Qing'er's expression changed slightly. Zhouying heard the voices around him and clenched his fists even tighter. Father, don't walk anymore. Bo Yang stopped and said to Zhouying seriously, I said before, I'm not your father. Zhouying's eyes trembled violently. You and I are not on the same path, and we'll have to part ways in the end, Bo Yang said. Father. Zhouying realized what he was going to do and grabbed his hand. Don't go over. Bo Yang stared at him. If you don't want me to go over, then kill me. Father. Zhouying's expression was anxious, like a trapped beast. Bo Yang shook off his hand and turned to walk in the direction of the eternal night devil without looking back. The demon race had used blood to set up a formation in the open space of the main peak. There was blood and corpses everywhere, and a thick smell of blood floated in the air. There were only 20 or so people left around the Eternal Night Devil. Most of them were injured, but no one cried out in pain. They were all silent. Hua Feihua seemed to be heavily injured. He didn't stand, but sat on the ground to meditate. The open space was filled with cultivators eyeing him, but no one dared to take a step forward. Bo Yang slowly walked into the blood-drawn formation. The formation suddenly lit up, and the light was enough to block all cultivators. A thick layer of demonic energy appeared on Bo Yang's body, and the light of the formation dimmed. Everyone saw this scene. He's a demon race. Phoenix City's city lord was the first to stand up. He pointed at Bo Yang and shouted, "He's a demon race. Kill him." Someone else shouted. Bo Yang stepped into the formation. Everyone around him was excited. Zhou stood in place. His expression was calm, and he didn't move at all. Zhao Qing'er and Feng Ming followed beside Zhou, looking helpless. Bo Yang continued to walk forward. Xiao Ling's voice suddenly appeared in his mind. Great Demon King has been detected. I'm going to start collecting data. Bo Yang, Xiao Ling, I'm counting on you. Xiao Ling, sir, don't worry. I'll do it well. She paused, then said, Sir, I'm going to clear my database soon. Bo Yang stopped in his tracks. Xiao Ling said, Sir, when we return to the real world, you must give me a 5-star rating. Bo Yang's heart was heavy. He promised, Don't worry. You're the best system. I'll definitely give you a 5-star rating. Xiao Ling smiled happily. Thank you, Mr. Xia. I should be the one thanking you, Bo Yang said. Xiao Ling asked again, Sir, will we meet again? Bo Yang's eyes became sour. Yes, we definitely will. Even if you don't remember anything, I'll tell you our story. Ah, that's great. Xiao Ling said, Sir, don't be sad. Since we'll definitely meet again, you have to be happy. Bo Yang took a deep breath and smiled. Okay. Then I wish you a safe journey. Okay. Xiao Ling giggled, database clearing begins. Data extraction begins. Bo Yang took a deep breath. Under the gaze of countless bewildered eyes, he walked steadily towards the Eternal Night Devil. The people around the Eternal Night Devil immediately stood in front of him, but they were stopped by the Eternal Night Devil with a wave of his hand. Bo Yang walked to his side and knelt down on one knee. Master. What are you doing here? The Eternal Night Devil lowered his head. Bo Yang stood up and smiled, I want to be with you. The Eternal Night Devil's pupils contracted slightly, then he turned his head away. Idiot. Bo Yang looked around and saw that the demon race had suffered heavy casualties. He couldn't help but ask, how did you guys end up like this? Hua Feihua stood up from the ground and said through gritted teeth, Lu Jianfeng betrayed us. He revealed the master's plan to the cultivators of the human world, making us like turtles in a jar. As expected, it was Lu Jianfeng. Bo Yang's heart shook, but he wasn't too surprised. This was because Lu Jianfeng was a double agent who betrayed the Eternal Night Devil in the end. So when he knew that the Eternal Night Devil had been exposed, he guessed that it was Lu Jianfeng. But in the game, Lu Jianfeng didn't ruin the Eternal Night Devil's plan. He only launched a sneak attack at the last moment. Now, Lu Jianfeng actually revealed the plan to the human world, causing the Demon King's plan to fail. It seemed that the plot was completely messed up. Where's Lu Jianfeng? Bo Yang asked. There was no sign of Lu Jianfeng around. He launched a sneak attack on the master, but he escaped after being heavily injured by the master, Hua Feihua said hatefully. Her beautiful face was covered in blood, making her look extremely seductive. Launched a sneak attack on the Eternal Night Devil, Bo Yang was stunned. He immediately approached the Eternal Night Devil and said, Master, are you injured? He went forward to check, but was stopped by the Eternal Night Devil. But Bo Yang still saw the wound on his back. His clothes were torn, and his flesh was twisted. The demon race's recovery ability was very strong. The Eternal Night Devil's wound was dripping with blood and couldn't heal. This showed how ruthless Lu Jianfeng's attack was. Bo Yang sucked in a breath of cold air. The Eternal Night Devil's face was slightly pale. He was definitely heavily injured. Otherwise, he wouldn't be trapped here. With his power, even if he couldn't destroy the boundary stone, he could still escape. There was only one explanation for being trapped here. It wasn't that he didn't want to leave, but that he couldn't. Master. Bo Yang's voice was trembling. It's just a small injury. The Eternal Night Devil shook his head. You shouldn't have come here. Bo Yang said, wherever Master is, I'll be there. Didn't you leave with Zhou? Did you do what you wanted to do? The Eternal Night Devil asked in a low voice. Bai Yang took a deep breath and stared into his eyes. Just a little bit more. The Eternal Night Devil sighed and patted his head. I'm sorry, Bo Yang was surprised. Why are you apologizing? Because I can't help you. I don't know what you want to do. Bo Yang didn't expect this reason. He grabbed his hand and said, it's not your fault. You don't have to apologize. I'm the one who harmed you. The Eternal Night Devil's face was full of regret. You shouldn't have come, Bo Yang immediately interrupted him. I wanted to come here. The two of them looked at each other. What should we do now? Hua Feihua interrupted the two of them, ruining the mood. There were countless cultivators in the mortal realm. There was no hope at all. Zhou, who's that? He's from the demon race. Someone shouted at Zhou. The cultivators in the mortal realm became more and more restless. Zhou Ying's cultivation level suddenly rose to an unimaginable level. He was only one step away from a mortal realm. And there was a demon race by his side. Zhao Qing'er pulled Zhou Ying's arm as a hint. Zhou Ying didn't seem to receive it and said loudly, he's my father. Everyone was in an uproar. Zhao Zhangmen of the Tingyun sect's voice echoed throughout the mountain. A demon race is your father? Zhou Ying, think carefully before you answer. Zhao Qing'er anxiously said to Zhou Ying, Zhou Ying. Zhou Ying coldly said, yes, he's my father. I'm a mixed blood of a human and a demon. His voice also echoed throughout the Tingyun sect. Zhao Qing'er let go of his hand in shock. The cultivators of the mortal realm were discussing this. Zhao Zhangmen asked again, then whose side are you on? The mortal realm? Or the demon realm? Zhou Ying didn't hesitate. The mortal realm. Zhao Qing'er sighed in relief. Feng Ming patted her chest. Zhao Zhangmen continued, then you should know that the demon race invaded the mortal realm and killed their way into the Tingyun sect. This is an unforgivable crime. Zhou Ying, your cultivation level is so high. You must shoulder the heavy responsibility of protecting the mortal realm. After a pause, Zhao Zhangmen pointed at Bo Yang and said, kill them. Put righteousness before family. Zhou Ying's face suddenly became very ugly. The people around him roared like a tsunami, forming a uniform and loud voice. Kill them. Kill them. Bo Yang followed the voice and saw Zhou Ying standing alone in the open space, far away from him. The two women beside him were very uneasy. They kept trying to persuade Zhou Ying. In the previous battle of attrition, the mortal realm and the demon race suffered a lot of losses. The demon race used blood as a sacrifice to draw a temporary array formation. Everyone knew that the final battle was about to begin. The Eternal Night Devil's cultivation level was unfathomable. No one present could defeat him. Even if they attacked together and killed him, the mortal realm would suffer heavy losses. Zhou Ying's arrival became their hope. He was a powerful cultivator at the tribulation stage. He was only one step away from ascending. He was on par with the Eternal Night Devil. As long as he was willing to help, this battle would end. Therefore, everyone present was forcing Zhou Ying to help. Kill them, kill them. The voices were like waves, each stronger than the last. Zhao Qing'er said to Zhou Ying, they are the demon race. They killed countless of our brothers and sisters. You have to think carefully, Feng Ming also said, Zhou Ying, as long as you help them this time, everyone will treat you as a hero. All your previous grievances will be written off. Zhao Qing'er said again, even if that demon race is your father, he has never raised you. He has kidnapped you and me many times. I know you are a sentimental person, but this is a grudge between the mortal realm and the demon race. You can't lose your mind because of your personal feelings. Zhou Ying stood there expressionlessly. It was as if the sound of the waves around him couldn't reach his ears. He still stood there motionlessly. He won't help. Someone shouted, he is a traitor. The surrounding voices that were shouting kill them, quieted down. The city lord of Phoenix City looked at Zhou Ying. His voice spread throughout the Tingyun sect. Zhou Ying, are you willing to help the mortal realm? Countless pairs of eyes stared at Zhou Ying. In a place where others couldn't see, Zhou Ying's fists were tightly clenched. He still didn't speak. Everyone was waiting for his answer. For a moment, the entire Tingyun sect was very quiet. At this moment, a loud voice sounded, come. Come and kill me. Everyone looked towards the voice and saw that Bo Yang had walked to the center of the formation and raised his hands. Zhou Ying, if you want to take my life, now is the best time. As soon as Bo Yang spoke, the surrounding cultivators were immediately stirred up. Kill him. Kill him. Under everyone's pressure, Zhou Ying finally exploded. All of you, shut up. Don't try to suppress me with righteousness. I will walk my own path. None of you can force me. Xianxia is my father. Today, I will protect him. If a person can't even protect his own parents, wife, and children, how can he protect the world? I can kill the others, but I will never allow anyone to touch a single hair on my father's head. His words were majestic, mixed with a huge amount of spiritual power, intimidating the entire mountain. Bo Yang was completely stunned. After a moment, his mind shook violently. He didn't think that Zhou Ying would be willing to go against the human race for him. Long Outyen was indeed Long Outyen. He was so domineering. Zhou Ying's words angered everyone. Traitor! Traitor! Someone shouted, since he's not willing to help us, we'll do it ourselves. Everyone was already restless. Under the instigation, they couldn't help but rush to the center of the formation. The Eternal Night Devil had been silent since the beginning. His face was slightly pale. When he saw the surrounding people attacking, he immediately stepped forward and released all of his spiritual power. There was a buzzing sound. The invisible spiritual power in the formation twitched and instantly swept through the entire main peak. Those who had just rushed over were sent flying by the invisible power. Let's go. The Phoenix City Lord was the first to lose control. He jumped down from the high platform like a rock spreading its wings and rushed to the side of the formation. He raised his palms and fiercely struck. The formation shook. Spiritual power and demonic power collided, creating a powerful shockwave. There were sounds of fighting all around. Countless cultivators rushed over. Bo Yang retreated to the Eternal Night Devil's side. Master. The Eternal Night Devil's attention was focused on the surroundings. Hearing this, he grunted. I'm afraid we won't be able to escape. Bo Yang said. The Eternal Night Devil finally looked at him and said seriously, no, you can leave. Zhou Ying is willing to protect you. When the formation breaks, he and I will work together and we should be able to send you away. Then he raised his voice, Zhou Ying, don't forget what you just said. I'll leave Xianxia to you. Bo Yang grabbed his arm and said, Master, I only want to die with you. The Eternal Night Devil rubbed his head, I only want you to live. Bo Yang's hands trembled slightly. Suppressing his strong emotions, he said, Master, have you found the boundary stone? The Eternal Night Devil shook his head. Bo Yang took a deep breath, even if we are going to die, we have to complete the mission. As he spoke, he retreated to the center of the formation. Then he gathered all the demonic power in his body and slammed it into the ground. The power of the realm of devils was not to be underestimated. The entire main peak shook and the ground began to crack. Zhao Zhangmen was shocked and shouted, Stop. Then he anxiously ordered the people around him, Let's go together. Make him stop. Bo Yang's demonic power continued to sink. Then a huge wave of spiritual power came from the depths of the main peak and collided with his demonic power. Bo Yang instantly vomited a mouthful of blood. At this moment, a hand supported him from the side. A strong demonic power was transmitted into his body, relieving him of the pressure. Turning his head, he saw the Eternal Night Devil's handsome but pale face. Bo Yang gritted his teeth and continued to slash down with all his might. Zhao Zhangmen crazily led the people to attack the barrier. The ground shook, and everyone followed suit. Then there was a rumbling sound from the ground. The entire main peak cracked open, and a moment later, a gray pillar rose from below. At the top of the pillar was a stone tablet that shone like white jade. The boundary stone. Someone cried out. Zhao Zhongmen's expression became extremely ugly. Why is the boundary stone here? The city lord of Phoenix City was also shocked. Hearing their conversation, the cultivators outside were also shocked. For a moment, they didn't know what to do. Only the originally dispirited demon race was energized. Hua Feihua laughed. Xianxia, you are really something. Good, even if we die here today, we will break the boundary stone. Under everyone's gaze, the stone pillar gradually rose. Zhao Zhongmen shouted, everyone, let's attack together. We must not let them destroy the boundary stone. At this moment, the cultivators of the human world who had thought that victory was in their hands panicked. Hearing Zhao Zhongmen's words, they immediately rushed toward the barrier like crazy. They wanted to protect the boundary stone before the demon race destroyed it. The temporary barrier had already been loosened and couldn't withstand the attacks of countless powerful cultivators. When the stone pillar carrying the boundary stone stopped rising, the barrier was also broken. Countless people rushed to the open space. The eternal night devil stood in front of everyone with a force that could hold back 10,000 men. He exchanged a palm strike with Zhao Zhongmen and the city lord of Phoenix City, sending them flying back. Bo Yang jumped onto the stone pillar where the boundary stone was. Gathering his demonic power, he shouted, if you dare take one step closer, I will destroy the boundary stone immediately. He pressed his hand on the white stone tablet. Stop! Zhao Zhongmen shouted. The people behind him all stopped. Everyone else also stopped rushing forward. Hua Feihua struggled and said, Xianxia, don't be long-winded. Destroy the boundary stone quickly. The eternal night devil turned his head and looked at Bo Yang. The meaning in his eyes was clear. Bo Yang shook his head at him. The eternal night devil frowned slightly. Bo Yang shouted in the direction of Zhou in the distance, Zhou, it's time to fulfill your promise. Otherwise, I will destroy the boundary stone. As he spoke, he raised his hand. Black demonic energy lingered around his palm. If he hit it, the stone tablet would definitely shatter into pieces. In an instant, a streak of light flew over from the distance. It was Zhou Ying's dragon sword. The dragon sword was heading in the direction of Bo Yang. If Bo Yang really hit the boundary stone, his chest would be pierced by the dragon sword. If he wanted to live, he could only retreat. From the momentum of the dragon sword, Zhou Ying didn't want to kill him. At most, he wanted to force him to retreat. But how could Bo Yang let go of such an opportunity? He stood up straight and withdrew all his demonic power. He smiled as he welcomed the dragon sword. He thought, the mission is about to end. Shaoling, Ji Yuan, and the Demon King, we will return to the real world together, he had a fervent dream. With a smile on his face, he stared at the sword as it got closer and closer. The dragon sword was extremely fast. In an instant, it was in front of Bo Yang. Bo Yang closed his eyes and welcomed the final moment. Suddenly, his body was pushed away by a strong force. Bo Yang opened his eyes in shock and saw the eternal night devil's extremely pale face. The dragon sword directly pierced through the Demon King's shoulder, forming a huge hole. Master! Bo Yang cried out, his voice trembling. The two of them fell off the stone pillar and landed on the ground. The eternal night devil said sternly, why didn't you dodge? Do you not want to live anymore? Then he turned his head and said to Zhou Ying who had rushed over, didn't you just swear to protect Xianxia? You're going back on your words so quickly? Zhou Ying was shocked and scared. He didn't expect Bo Yang to not dodge at all. Are you okay? Zhou Ying asked while panting. He wanted to come over. The eternal night devil suddenly drew a line in front of him. In an instant, a transparent barrier appeared and blocked Zhou Ying's path. Bo Yang's plan was ruined. He was so anxious that he didn't know what to do. Zhou Ying. I can't escape today. My only request is to die in your hands and let me leave with dignity. The eternal night devil suddenly turned his head and stared at Bo Yang in disbelief. What did you say? Bo Yang let it slip in a moment of desperation. He was suppressed by the eternal night devil's terrifying gaze and shrank back. Then he gathered his courage and said, Master, whether you believe it or not, we can only leave if I die. The eternal night devil didn't believe him at all. Even if all of us die today, only you won't. He turned his head and said to Zhou, you said you would protect Xianxia. Then please take him away. No. After a pause, he lowered his head and said, I beg you. Zhou was stunned. Bo Yang was also stunned. He couldn't believe that the arrogant demon king would lower his head to a human that he had always looked down on. Master. He pulled on the eternal night devil's sleeve. Zhou. As long as you can protect the boundary steel, we promise to let your father leave. Zhao Zhangmen shouted. At the same time, he rushed towards the boundary steel on the stone pillar. Stinky old dog. Hua Feihua didn't care about his pain. He directly flew towards the stone pillar and swore to destroy the boundary steel. His black hair was scattered like clouds. His clothes were stained red with blood. When he flew up, he looked like a blooming rose. However, he was seriously injured and there were countless cultivators behind Zhao Zhangmen. The moment he flew up, countless weapons turned into a rain of swords and flew towards him. Before he could even touch the boundary steel, countless swords pierced through him. Bo Yang's pupils constricted. The eternal night devil suddenly pushed Bo Yang towards Zhou and shouted, Run! Then he flew up to catch the falling Hua Feihua. Bo Yang was held tightly by Zhou and couldn't struggle. Let go of me. Zhou. Zhou gritted his teeth and held on tightly. Hua Feihua held on to his last breath and said to the eternal night devil, Destroy the boundary steel. Then, she closed her charming and affectionate eyes. Okay, the eternal night devil's voice was very steady. He glanced at Bo Yang and flew towards the tall stone pillar. Bo Yang saw the determination in his eyes. A powerful demonic power exploded and the sky changed color. The cultivators near the stone pillar all turned into a rain of blood and died without a complete corpse. Zhao Zhangmen and the city lord of Phoenix City were beaten until they vomited blood and fell to the ground. Cultivators with low cultivations couldn't even get close to the stone pillar under the pressure of the demonic power. The eternal night devil was about to destroy the boundary steel. Zhou. Zhao Zhangmen shouted. Zhou. Zhao Qing'er and Feng Ming also shouted anxiously. Zhou no longer had any reservations and let go of Bo Yang. He quickly turned into a shooting star and rushed towards the stone pillar. At the same time, Bo Yang also turned into a black light and flew over. The dragon sword in Zhou Ying's hand made a clear sound and stabbed towards the eternal night devil without any hesitation. Bo Yang turned into a black light and flew up. In an instant, the spiritual energy of the two sides clashed. The boundary steel on the stone pillar cracked and then shattered into a pile of rocks. A deep buzzing sound came from the sky. An intense gust of wind blew, as if something had cracked open. Ah! The human-demon barrier has disappeared. Zhao Zhangmen screamed and pounded the ground with his hands. My fault. My fault. Ah! A red flame suddenly appeared on the horizon where the sky met the earth. It burned along the horizon as if it wanted to burn everything. Then the transparent barrier in the sky flashed and disappeared. A huge vortex appeared in the sky and a red light flickered in it. The whole world was shaking. It was like the end of the world. The cultivators were panicking and in chaos. Only the area around the stone pillar was very quiet. Zhou stood on the ground in a daze, holding the shining dragon sword in his hand. The eternal night devil knelt below the stone pillar and hugged Bo Yang. He kept patting his face. Zetian. Don't sleep. Don't sleep. Something wet fell from the corner of his eye. Bo Yang forced his eyes open and looked at him. He wanted to tell him not to cry and that they wouldn't really die. But he couldn't speak. There was a big hole in his chest and every breath he took was painful. But he couldn't die yet. At the last moment, he used all his strength to maintain his soul and used the last layer of the southern sea shark pearl to block some of the power, delaying his death. Don't cry, he tried very hard to say that they wouldn't die. But darkness suddenly attacked him and he closed his eyes weakly, entering the state of suspended animation that he had planned. The eternal night devil said softly, Zetian? Are you gone? Bo Yang couldn't answer. After a while, the eternal night devil's voice sounded. "Ah, you're really gone." Bo Yang curled up his soul. The eternal night devil's voice sounded again. It was very soft and gentle. "Zetian. Do you know what day it is today?" Bo Yang tried his best to maintain his soul that was starting to dissipate and wait for the last chance. "What day? I don't know." The pain of his soul slowly disappearing was unimaginable. "Today is the 5th day of the Lunar New Year. We were supposed to hold the ceremony today. You promised me that you would become my demon queen, but you failed to keep your promise," the eternal night devil said softly. Bo Yang was stunned. So, it was already the 5th day of the Lunar New Year? Aha! Zhou Ying's painful howls resounded through the heavens and earth, and strong waves of energy spread out. Bo Yang's consciousness was about to blur when a mechanical voice sounded in his ears. "Mission complete, beginning departure." 3, 2, 1, it was finally over. Bo Yang fell into complete darkness. Ji Yuan was 6 years old this year. Everyone loved him. The nanny who took care of him kept praising him as the most handsome baby in the world. The children next door also said that he was good-looking. Baby Ji thought, if everyone thinks I'm handsome, then I must be very handsome. Baby Ji looked in the mirror and was shocked by his appearance. I'm really good-looking. Thus, Baby Ji naturally became narcissistic. He only played with good-looking children and didn't play with ugly babies. One day, his mother brought Baby Ji to a gathering. It was full of girls. When they saw Baby Ji, they all exclaimed, "So cute." Baby Ji's nose was raised high, and he was very proud. There were a few children in the clubhouse, and all of them were exquisitely dressed. Baby Ji stood at the side with his arms crossed, waiting for the other children to talk to him. He wouldn't take the initiative to talk to them. However, he didn't notice that he was standing in the wrong position. His legs and arms were short, and he was blocked by the high back of the chair. As a result, no one saw Baby Ji for 20 minutes. His mother was busy talking to other women and didn't notice him. Baby Ji stood alone behind the chair, his self-esteem hurt. Baby Ji was a little unhappy. Baby Ji was a little moody. He was about to walk out from behind the chair and reluctantly take the initiative to greet someone when suddenly, a creature with long rabbit ears and a small tail walked over. The creature was pink and blue in color. It was short and chubby, and it swayed as it walked. Its 2 ears shook as it walked, and it instantly attracted Baby Ji's attention. Baby Ji's eyes lit up. He walked over and grabbed the creature's long ears. The creature turned its head and stared at Baby Ji with its round eyes. So cute. It was a little boy wearing a bunny onesie. He was about 3 or 4 years old, pinkish blue, with a rosy face and round eyes. The little boy glanced at Baby Ji, then turned his head and continued to walk forward unsteadily. Seeing that he had left, Ji Baobao helped to pull his ear and pulled it off along with his hat. The little boy turned back and cried loudly. His voice was so loud that it instantly attracted the attention of all the women in the clubhouse. Baby Ji was at a loss. "Aya, why are you crying?" "Bo Yang, be good." "Bo Yang, don't cry." An exquisitely dressed woman hurriedly rushed over and hugged the little boy, constantly patting his small back. Ji Baobao's mother also walked over and lectured Ji Baobao with a sullen face. "Why did you bully your brother?" Before Ji Baobao could defend himself, a boy of about 5 or 6 years old rushed over. He put his hands on his hips and said to Ji Baobao, "You're not allowed to bully my little brother." "I didn't." Baby Ji felt wronged. Tears began to well up in his eyes, but he thought, "I'm the most handsome baby in the world. I can't cry." So, he held back his tears. "I saw you pull off my brother's hat," the little boy said, still fiercely. Ji Baobao couldn't hold it in any longer and said loudly, "I'm too lazy to bully your brother. I also want to give birth to a cute little brother. In the future, I will only bully him." Everyone burst into laughter. Baby Ji kept this dream in her heart. When she returned home, she would ask her mother to give birth to a younger brother every day, making her parents laugh. Then, under Baby Ji's expectations, her mother became pregnant. Ji Baobao thought, in the future, I will also have a cute little brother who wears pink and blue clothes. Under his expectations, his mother was pregnant for 10 months and gave birth to a younger sister. Baby G's dream was shattered. He wailed and heard the sound of his heart breaking. Ever since that gathering, Baby G never saw a cute little brother like that pink and blue boy again. He also never saw that boy again. It was said that they were actually in the same city, but the city was too big. The adults would occasionally gather, but the children never saw each other again. After a few years, Baby G became Ji Yuan. He went to elementary and middle school and became the school hunk in their school. He was about to enter middle school. His family discussed whether to send him abroad or to continue staying in the country. In the end, his mother couldn't bear to part with him and kept him in the country. Hence, Ji Yuan went to the best high school in their city. There were many handsome guys and beautiful girls in the high school. Students with good grades could be found everywhere. Ji Yuan was still the most eye-catching one. After entering school for a month, he was elected as one of the 2 school hunks. The other school hunk was from class 2. His name was Bai Kong. Perhaps it was because they appreciated each other, but somehow, the 2 of them became good friends. After a long time, Ji Yuan found out that Bai Tsong had a younger brother named Bo Yang who was still in middle school. One day, Bai Tsong invited Ji Yuan to his house to play. Ji Yuan saw his younger brother. He had a face with some baby fat and round black eyes. He looked very innocent. So cute, he had long forgotten that he had met the Bai brothers. However, when he saw Bo Yang, he still felt that he was cute. He was so cute that he wanted to touch and play with him. He said to Bo Yang, "I'm your brother's friend. From now on, I'm also your brother." Bo Yang glared at the stranger who suddenly appeared. He felt that this person was arrogant. "Who do you think you are? What right do you have to be my brother?" Bo Yang was a little scared and didn't dare to refute him. Ji Yuan tacitly agreed. Bo Yang's grades weren't very good. Bai Tsong mentioned it a few times in front of Ji Yuan, worried that he wouldn't be able to get into their high school. When Ji Yuan heard this, he took the initiative to help Bo Yang with his tutoring. However, Bo Yang's parents were also worried at that time. They hired several tutors for Bo Yang, making Bo Yang miserable. Ji Yuan didn't know about this. He took the time to follow Bai Tsong to his house. When he saw Bo Yang playing, he immediately grabbed him for tutoring. Bo Yang cried because of him once. Bo Yang's parents liked Ji Yuan very much. They often treated Ji Yuan as someone else's child and lectured Bo Yang, telling him to learn from Ji Yuan. Ji Yuan also often regarded himself as an older brother and took care of Bo Yang. Regarding this, Bai Yang held a grudge in his heart. The trauma in his heart when he was young wasn't a big deal when he became an adult, but it was hard to forget. Bo Yang got into his older brother's high school. Bai Tsong and Ji Yuan were very happy. Only Bo Yang was unhappy. How could he be happy when he was controlled by 2 big devils in the future? Bo Yang was a coward. He occasionally provoked some hooligans and was extorted money. Bo Yang obediently gave it to them. From then on, the hooligans thought he was a fat sheep and didn't dare to tell his family. Until one day, Ji Yuan accidentally bumped into them. He was so angry that he directly beat the hooligans until they pissed their pants. Bo Yang instantly felt that he was very noble and became much closer to him. However, this good impression quickly disappeared after a girl confessed to him. Adolescents studied like idols and took the route of a depressed prince. Bo Yang also followed the trend and picked up a drawing board that he hadn't used for a long time. He ran to the school garden to show off. Sure enough, he attracted the admiring gazes of girls. Finally, a girl took the initiative to confess. Before she got the love letter, it was first passed to her 2 older brothers who were the president of the student council. She was directly criticized as a typical example of puppy love. During that time, the student council caught couples and made everyone angry. This made the teachers very satisfied. Ji Yuan directly said that no one was allowed to date Bo Yang and affect his studies, which were already not good to begin with. This made Bo Yang's parents very happy. Only Bo Yang was inconsolable. "Haha, I'm not good at my studies, so I can't do anything." Bo Yang couldn't do anything in front of his 2 amazingly talented older brothers. Unable to date, Bo Yang could only sorrowfully carry the drawing board and draw alone. Gradually, he became interested. One day, he finished a painting that he thought was very good and excitedly showed it to his older brother. His older brother praised him for drawing well. Ji Yuan glanced at it and said, "You really like drawing?" Bo Yang nodded. He thought he drew very well and found a sense of accomplishment that he hadn't felt in a long time. Ji Yuan rushed home excitedly and stayed up for 5 nights. He spent a lot of effort and finally drew a satisfactory piece of work. He thought, Xiao Bai will definitely like it. So the next day, Bo Yang suddenly received a painting from Ji Yuan. He said that he drew it personally and gave it to him as a gift. Bo Yang opened the painting and instantly suffered a huge blow. He didn't even feel any sense of accomplishment from his own drawing. What did he mean? Was he mocking him for not drawing well? At night, Bo Yang teared up the sketchbook with tears in his eyes. He locked the drawing board in the storage room and never touched it again. He didn't dare to tear up Ji Yuan's painting and could only sullenly hang it in the room. Ji Yuan patrolled his room and was very happy to see the painting hanging up. Bo Yang thought, in the future, when I go to university, I have to stay far away from Ji Yuan. If I really can't shake him off, I'll go abroad. However, he didn't go abroad. Ji Yuan was forced to go abroad by his family after graduation. Even his older brother, Bai Tsong, was sent to America. Thank God, Bo Yang finally got his long-awaited freedom. After graduating from high school, Bo Yang didn't hesitate to choose a domestic university. His family doted on him and wanted to keep him by their side, so they didn't force him to go abroad. On his 18th birthday, as a coming-of-age ceremony, his family specially held a birthday party for him. His older brother and Ji Yuan flew back from America to celebrate his birthday. Bo Yang wore a white suit and stood tall and straight. He was prepared to play the piano at the party. This was a performance he had prepared for a long time. He wanted to show everyone his talent and tell everyone that he wasn't an idiot. Ji Yuan rushed back and saw the person he had missed for a long time. He realized that he was an adult and was very excited. He missed him a lot. He wanted to see his face, hear his voice, and miss his timid look. He also missed his cute look when he secretly rolled his eyes. His long-suppressed feelings made his head hot. He suddenly realized that he had to do something for his coming-of-age ceremony and make it a memory for both of them. So, halfway through Bo Yang's piano performance, he realized that Ji Yuan had taken the wrong medicine. He suddenly came forward excitedly and wanted to play a duet with him. In front of Ji Yuan, Bo Yang was used to being obedient. He gave up half of his position and the two of them played a duet. After all, they hadn't rehearsed before. Bo Yang's tune was messed up and he couldn't keep up with Ji Yuan. He was led by the nose by Ji Yuan the whole time. Although the performance was completed successfully, Bo Yang couldn't suppress the sadness in his heart. He hated Ji Yuan for making the decision on his own. After his birthday, Bo Yang didn't see him again. Ji Yuan recovered from his excitement and suddenly realized that he had strange feelings for Bo Yang. He finally understood that he had always liked Bo Yang. This answer made him a little confused. He knew that with the responsibility he had, his family wouldn't agree to him looking for a boy. With Bo Yang's family status, they wouldn't agree to him hitting on him. If Bai Tsong knew, he wouldn't let him off. Also, Bo Yang didn't seem to like boys. So, Ji Yuan didn't continue to pester him. After his birthday, he went abroad, thinking that time would wash away everything. A few years passed in the blink of an eye. Everyone gradually grew up and Ji Yuan returned to the country. There were more and more people who wanted to be Bo Yang's girlfriend. Some shady women or those who wanted to climb up the social ladder all surrounded Bo Yang. Ji Yuan was worried sick about this. He felt that Bo Yang didn't know how to differentiate good from bad. As long as it was a female, he would treat her gently. This made Ji Yuan very nervous, afraid that he would be cheated. Every time he met such a woman, Ji Yuan would come out and break them up. Bai Yang was infuriated. He was almost 25 years old and hadn't even held a girl's hand a few times. His standards were lowered again and again. He felt that as long as it was a girl, it would be fine. But even so, Ji Yuan still wanted to ruin it. He called it a test. Haha, human nature couldn't stand a test. He hadn't been in contact with those women for long and didn't have deep feelings for them. Suddenly, a handsome, rich, and talented handsome man appeared and chased after her crazily. As long as a woman had a normal IQ, she would know who to choose. Test your F** King S. Bo Yang was so angry that he cursed Ji Yuan in the house. He cursed Ji Yuan to never find a wife and be a bachelor for the rest of his life. He was furious. Ji Yuan was also very worried. He looked left and right, wanting to find a girlfriend for Bo Yang who could take care of him. Unfortunately, he didn't find one that was satisfactory. He might as well do it himself. But he couldn't do it himself, he was so worried. One day in September, Bai Tsung suddenly got into a car accident and became a vegetable. Bo Yang was forced by his father to enter the character building program. Things happened very suddenly. Ji Yuan had already taken over the family's affairs for 2 years. He was in the limelight and was a famous eligible bachelor. When he heard that Bai Tsung got into an accident, Ji Yuan immediately sent people to investigate the accident. He had worked with Bai Tsung for many years and didn't believe that he would get into an accident so easily. After some investigation, they found some clues. They followed the driver's clues and traced it all the way to Bo Yang's uncle. At this time, Bo Yang was already forced into the character building program. Ji Yuan brought people to stop them but was counterattacked by the system. Bo Yang's body showed a serious stress reaction. Ji Yuan was almost scared out of his wits. He didn't dare to mess with the system anymore. He could only let the professional technical team use various methods to gently analyze it. 5 long years had passed since he had started his analysis. Ji Yuan had already become an old leftover man. In the end, Bo Yang's father didn't believe that his biological brother would do such a thing. The Bai family was in turmoil and their career was damaged. If it wasn't for Ji Yuan's support, the Bai family would have collapsed long ago. Fortunately, Bai Tsung woke up a year later and took over the family's affairs. This put an end to the tragic family infighting. His uncle was also sent to prison. Only Bo Yang was still unconscious and didn't wake up. In 5 years, everyone gave up and was prepared that he would never wake up again. Only Ji Yuan firmly believed that he would wake up. No one knew where his confidence came from. One day, 5 years later, Ji Yuan's team finally had a breakthrough. They found a loophole in the system and made a plan. They decided to send a data packet to the main system and let the people inside terminate the main system from the inside. The only requirement was that someone had to bring the data packet in as a trial taker. Ji Yuan took this mission behind everyone's back. The condition he set was that Bo Yang could leave this world. On the day he left, he sat in the experiment cabin that Bo Yang had sat in before and left a message for Bo Yang. "Little Bai, it's me. I'm Ji Yuan. I'm here to save you." A torrent of data flashed past and the stars moved. Bo Yang fell into a strange state. He seemed to have seen Ji Yuan's memories. Zhou killed him. Bo Yang completed the mission and left the world. Then he fell into darkness, but he didn't lose his mind. He seemed to have entered a strange space and saw another person's memories. He saw Ji Yuan bring the data packet into the world. He saw him fly down and be swept into a whirlpool by the data. He saw him wake up and walk to the side of the mirror and find that he had become another person. He had jet black hair, a fair face, and was wearing a large black robe. Bo Yang widened his eyes in shock. He heard the person in front of the mirror ask in confusion, "Who am I?" After a while, "I'm the Eternal Night Devil, Ji Zishuan?" that person said. Bo Yang's eyes were already filled with tears. Those memories intertwined and gradually turned into countless pieces of sparkling fragments, dissipating with the wind. Bo Yang's body suddenly sank. Accompanied by the sound of the wind, he sank to a place that couldn't be seen. He stayed in that dark world for a while. Suddenly, a light appeared in front of him. He was so surprised that he followed the light and swam upwards. Then, he suddenly opened his eyes. He's awake. Oh my God! Bo Yang is awake. Someone shouted in surprise. He's awake. Quickly go and inform President Bo. What about President Ji? There's a reaction too. President Ji is awake too. Oh my God! The plan has finally succeeded. There's a bonus to be won now. Surprised voices surrounded his ears. Bo Yang blinked blankly. He turned his head with difficulty and saw a group of people wearing white coats singing and dancing by the bed. He opened his mouth, but he couldn't make a sound. 5 years of being in a vegetative state caused his bodily functions to deteriorate. The white coats quickly came over. Bo Yang, don't be anxious. Speak slowly. Bo Yang said with difficulty, he is back? The white coats looked at each other. Who is he? Bo Yang took a small breath and said, the eternal night devil. Jizi Xuan. Ji Yuan, just a few words were enough to make him sweat. President Ji is back. He'll be here soon. The white coats comforted him. Bo Yang. Someone suddenly rushed in with tears in his eyes. It was his brother, Bai Tsong, who he hadn't seen in many years. You're finally awake. Bai Tsong threw himself on the bed and held his hand. After all, it had been a long time. Bai Tsong had changed a lot. Bo Yang was a little dazed. After a while, he called out. Brother? Bai Tsong's eyes were red. He choked and said, I thought you. He didn't finish his sentence. Bo Yang tried his best to smile. I won't. Bai Tsong wiped his tears and said with a smile, I'd always believed that you would come back. Bo Yang rolled his eyes. Really? You've already given up. Bai Tsong felt a little guilty. Bo Yang. A familiar yet strange voice sounded. Bo Yang turned his head and saw a man in a blue hospital gown standing behind the crowd. He was much taller, stronger, and thinner than he remembered. Only his eyes were as bright as he remembered. He was proud and confident, like the stars in the summer sky, bright and deep. He walked past the crowd and slowly came to the bed. He knelt on one knee by the bed and rested his chin on the edge of the bed. He looked at Bo Yang seriously. After a while, he said, You're finally back. Bo Yang's nose twitched. He smiled and said, Yes. We're all back. Side 1. Bo Yang and Ji Yuan finally left the virtual world and returned to reality. Because their bodies were too weak, they had to rest in the hospital for 2 days. Before that, Bo Yang asked the technical team to hack into the main system and stop the program that was destroying the world. Ji Yuan agreed. Bo Yang and Ji Yuan had both left the virtual world. There were no real humans in the virtual world, so the technical team didn't need to be in the way. They could use radical methods to attack, but it was still too late. On the 3rd day, Bo Yang was pushed by Ji Yuan to take a walk in the garden of the research center. When he heard the technical director report that they had successfully hacked into the main system, he was very happy. Then the director said, although we have hacked into the main system, we are 1 step too late. The destruction program has already been activated. How can this be? Bo Yang was so excited that he almost stood up from his wheelchair. I remember that it was the 5th day when I left. There were 33 days left before the destruction. There should be 18 days left. How can it already, little Bai? Ji Yuan was also wearing a hospital gown. He pressed his hands gently on his shoulders. You forgot that the time in the virtual world is different from the real world. I have been in there for many years, but only 2 months have passed in the real world. Bo Yang suddenly understood. Yes, he had forgotten about this. The time in the virtual world was different from the real world. 33 days had passed in there, but only 2 hours had passed in the real world. But, many people's faces appeared in his mind. Zhouing, Xiaoling, Zhongxua, Huafeihua. These people were living people to him. They were his friends. He didn't want them to leave. Huafeihua had already fallen, but Zhouing, Xiaoling, and Zhongxua were still alive. If they were to disappear silently like this, Bo Yang covered his face. He was very upset. Little Bai. Ji Yuan gently patted his head. Bo Yang suddenly let go of his hand. That's not right. What's not right? Ji Yuan asked. Bo Yang said, Xiaoling left with me. She should still be alive. Xiaoling? Bo Yang explained, after entering the trial, the assistant that accompanied me was an artificial intelligence. Ji Yuan nodded. Understood. Bo Yang said, at that time, she cleared all the databases and loaded the Eternal Night Devil. No, your data. She wanted to bring you back with her. She should have left with me. Ji Yuan raised his eyebrows in surprise. What do you mean? Bo Yang then told her about his cooperation with Xiaoling. Ji Yuan had seen Bo Yang's memories when he returned to the real world. He recalled this scene and said, "So that's how it is." The technical director interrupted, "That's impossible." Bo Yang asked nervously, "What's impossible?" The technical supervisor said, "CEOG is a human, and the conditions for him to leave have been set. That is to say, he will leave on his own once the mission is completed. There is no need for Xiaoling to capture his data. No, there is no way to capture his data. After all, CEOG is a human, not a set of data." Bo Yang was stunned. But she has already cleared the database. If Xiaoling couldn't get Ji Yuan's data, then her act of emptying the database would be completely useless. I'm the one who harmed her. Bo Yang was a little sad. The technical director said, "According to what Mr. Bai said, Xiaoling should have captured some other data, or perhaps she didn't capture anything." Captured some other data? Bo Yang's body trembled. Xiaoling was originally bound to Mr. Bai. She should have returned. She might have returned to the main system. Bo Yang was excited. That's great. Quick, let her come out. I promised her that I would tell her our story. Ji Yuan patted his head. Don't worry, you should rest first. Rest? I've been lying in bed for 5 years. Bo Yang was unhappy. Ji Yuan didn't dare to be stubborn with him and could only say, "Okay, okay, okay. We won't rest anymore. We will go over and take a look. But if things don't go as planned, you can't be sad, okay?" Bo Yang said, "You're not letting me know anything and making me wait. You'll only make me more anxious. Hurry up and bring me over." As he said that, he patted the wheelchair and signaled for Ji Yuan to push him back to the laboratory. When Bo Yang was framed, Ji Yuan and the Bai family worked together to expose this company. In the end, they bought over and terminated the character building project. They originally wanted to move Bo Yang to the hospital, but Bo Yang couldn't leave the project equipment, so Ji Yuan and Bai Tsung changed the surroundings of the laboratory into a sanatorium. Ji Yuan had once asked the project manager to come back and help him crack the technology, but the project manager couldn't crack it himself. It seemed that he had stolen his teacher's experimental results and created a perfect artificial intelligence. However, he couldn't do it himself. His teacher had already passed away, so Ji Yuan had no choice but to contact his teacher's team one by one and rebuild the technical team to crack the main system. Ji Yuan pushed Bo Yang into the laboratory. The technical director shared the information provided by Bo Yang with the team and called for a meeting. They made a new plan according to Bo Yang's description. The technical team unanimously believed that Xiaoling, as an artificial intelligence, was part of the main system. There was a high chance that she had returned to the main system and could be found. If she hadn't cleared the database, she could have searched for her conversation and data according to Bo Yang's description. Unfortunately, it was cleared now, so she could only search slowly. Then let's search, Ji Yuan said. Bo Yang waited anxiously. After another 2 days, the technical team reported to Ji Yuan. Found it. We found it. Ji Yuan hurriedly brought Bo Yang to the laboratory. The laboratory was very big. The whole room was white. There was an experiment cabin in the middle and a huge screen on the other side. CEOG, Mr. Bai, look. The technical director pointed at the screen. On the screen, blue data slid down like raindrops. This is the database of the artificial intelligence called Xiaoling, the technical director said. It's out. Bo Yang pushed the wheelchair forward and called, Xiaoling? A familiar female voice sounded from the speakers around the screen. I'm here. Bo Yang suddenly became excited and rushed to the screen. Xiaoling, you're back? Yes, I'm back. Bo Yang reached out and touched the blue data on the screen. Xiaoling, do you still remember me? Xiaoling said, I'm sorry, sir. I think I cleared the database. I don't remember anything. The technical staff listened to Bo Yang and Xiaoling's conversation and exclaimed, oh my god, it's too smart. Just like a living person. Wait, this voice. The technical director became excited. This is the voice of the professor's daughter. The other technical staff also reacted. Yes, it's her. The nickname of the professor's daughter is also Xiaoling. A young technical staff asked curiously, the professor has a daughter? I've worked with him for a few years, but I've never seen her. You've never mentioned her either. Yes, the technical director said. The technical director said, the professor's daughter died of cancer when she was 13. The professor was very sad and never mentioned her again. We didn't dare to mention her either. I didn't expect the professor to have developed such an advanced artificial intelligence and even named it Xiaoling. Everyone sighed. Xiaoling, I'm Bo Yang, the person you used to work for. Bo Yang looked at the screen and said, you cleared the database for me, so you don't remember anything. But I remember everything. You said that when we return to the real world, I'll tell you our memories. I'm here today. The data on the screen flashed and Xiaoling's voice sounded. I really said that? Bo Yang nodded heavily. Yes, we have a lot of time now. I can tell you slowly, okay, sir. I'm very bored. Tell me. Xiaoling's voice sounded happy. Bo Yang cleared his throat and began to talk. That day, I entered this laboratory. Ji Yuan asked the technical director in a low voice, has Xiaoling's database been analyzed? Has it been cleared or has she grabbed other data? The technical director said, yes, she seems to have grabbed some data from the virtual world. Ji Yuan looked at Bo Yang, who was still talking, and continued to ask, can we use that data to restore the entire world? The technical director shook his head. It's impossible to restore the entire world, but we can restore a part of it. We can fix that part of the data and use the previous data to redesign the other parts of the world. But it will take a long time. The team won't only have a few of us. After all, there will be art and scriptwriters involved. His meaning was clear. To restore the world, they had to expand the team, which also required a lot of money. Even if it was restored, the country had banned the project because of their lawsuit. It was not allowed to be used on humans in the real world. So even if the world was restored, it would be useless. The money would be wasted. Ji Yuan thought for a moment and looked at the thin figure in the wheelchair. He said to the technical director, continue. After all, this was the most unforgettable memory of him and me. It was another life. And there were some friends in it. If those people were gone, Little White would be very sad. The technical director smiled. Don't worry, we will work hard. We will definitely not let the teacher's hard work disappear. I didn't expect Professor Zhou's artificial intelligence research to be so good. Ji Yuan said, maybe we can use this as an opportunity to increase our investment in this field. This might be another business opportunity. No, it might become a technological revolution like the computer. Two foils. Zhou stood in place blankly. He felt that something was wrong. Miss Li pushed him. Hey, what are you doing? Zhou came back to his senses. Miss? Miss Li said, let's go quickly. If we don't go, we will be last. We won't be able to enter the Tingyun sect anymore. Zhou suddenly came back to his senses. Yes, he was going to follow Miss Li to the Tingyun sect to take the exam. If Miss Li passed, he would also stay in the Tingyun sect as a handyman. The Tingyun sect towered into the clouds. Looking at the seemingly endless staircase, Zhou Ying's eyes flashed. I want to go up. One day, I will stand at the highest place. He followed Miss Li and trekked with difficulty. Finally, they arrived at the top of the Tingyun sect at the designated time. The senior brother who greeted them glanced at them and said, congratulations on passing the first test. A group of female disciples dressed in white walked past while chatting and laughing. Zhou Ying saw the girl at the front who was smiling brightly, and was instantly shocked by her beauty. What are you looking at? Miss Li said unhappily. Humph, she looks just like that. Shu, a disciple who knew the inside story said, lower your voice. That is the sect leader's daughter, Zhao Qing'er, senior sister Zhao. Miss Li was silent. Ah, that's the apple of Zhao Zhangman's eye. What kind of man is worthy of such a woman? Everyone was envious and worshipful. Zhou Ying looked away. He was just a lowly handyman. How could he be with such a woman? He lowered his head and didn't look at Zhao Qing'er anymore. Later, he worked hard as a handyman and secretly cultivated. He was framed by people from the same village. He endured it all. Time passed quickly and it was time for the secret realm to open. Zhou followed Miss Li's request to go to the secret realm to train. On the way, they suddenly encountered a beast. The four of them ran for their lives and finally escaped into a forest. However, two men in black suddenly appeared in the forest and attacked without saying a word. Miss Li finally died in order to save him. Zhou panicked and rushed to the top of the cliff. Ha ha ha, look what I found? A fish that escaped the net? An extremely arrogant voice came from above. Zhou looked up and saw a black figure descending from the sky and quickly landing in front of him. His black hair was slightly curly and draped over his shoulders. His face was very handsome. His eyes were shining and the corner of his mouth hooked up in an evil smile. "Oh, you stopped running?" the man said. "Lord Xia." The two men in black ran over and knelt on one knee. "Master." Xia, Zhou was in a daze. He seemed to have heard it before. Lord Xia, Xia. Xiazetian, the words that suddenly appeared in his mind made him confused. Before he could react, he was kicked off the cliff by the man in black. As he fell, he seemed to see many scenes. They were strange yet familiar. Was this the scene before he died? Then, he sank into the darkness. When he woke up again, he was holding a white sword. All the memories in his mind had disappeared. He wiped his face and found that it was full of tears. Third fan Bo Yang woke up. Other than Ji Yuan, the Bai family was also very happy. However, the Bai family was also a little unhappy. After all, 5 years was enough for them to see Ji Yuan's intentions for Bo Yang. Using Father Bai's words, "So this kid has always had bad intentions for our little Bai." Bai Tsong also said, "I thought he was a good brother, but he always wanted to be my sister-in-law." If Ji Yuan showed any signs 5 years ago, Father Bai would definitely beat him to death and throw him out. However, 5 years later, he couldn't do that. After all, Ji Yuan had sacrificed too much. They were also moved by his deep feelings. Especially when he brought the data package into the system, he was gambling with his life. Moreover, Ji Yuan helped them a lot at the critical moment. They also cooperated a lot in business. Whether it was for public or private reasons, the Bai family couldn't refuse him attacking Bo Yang. Bai Tsong felt complicated. He pretended not to know and went to work every day. Father Bai couldn't find anyone to stand up for him. He couldn't bring himself to look for Ji Yuan, so he didn't go. Thus, Bai Yang and Ji Yuan spent a good amount of time in the research center as a couple. Bo Yang was in a coma for 5 years. The rehabilitation work was urgent. Ji Yuan patiently accompanied him. He looked like he only wanted the beauty and didn't want the country. After a period of time, Bo Yang could finally walk normally. He also gained some weight. At least, he wasn't as scarily thin as before. Once he recovered, Ji Yuan was a little restless. Thus, on a sunny morning, Ji Yuan said to Bo Yang, "Little Bai." Bo Yang said, "Yes?" Ji Yuan said, "Do you know how old I am this year?" Bo Yang was confused. "Huh?" Ji Yuan said, "I'm already 32 years old." His voice was full of grievance. Bo Yang counted. It was true, he was also 30 years old. Damn, his best youth was gone just like that. Bo Yang was very angry. Ji Yuan said, "Little Bai, I'm already an old leftover man. When I was 30 years old, my parents kept urging me to get married. They urged me to find a wife, but I didn't agree." Bo Yang didn't dare to say anything. Ji Yuan looked at him and continued, "You should know very well why I'm still single. Now that you're awake, you have to help me solve the problem of being single." Bo Yang held it in for a long time and muttered, "You can't just blame it on me. You're the one who doesn't want to find a wife. If you really wanted to find one, there would be a lot of beautiful women pouncing on you." Ji Yuan turned in front of him and stared into his eyes. He said seriously, "But I don't like women." Bo Yang's face turned red. He said stubbornly, Then with your condition, isn't it easy to find a boy?" Ji Yuan closed in on him. "But I don't want to find another boy." Bo Yang's face turned even redder. He turned his head away. "Ah, the weather is really good today. Then he pretended that nothing happened and walked forward. But he was pulled into a tight embrace. Little by. His head was on Ji Yuan's chest and his head was against Ji Yuan's chin. He heard that person's mellow voice. Let's get married. Bo Yang's face turned red. You owe me. The voice above his head said. Originally, you promised me that you would marry me on the 5th day of the Lunar New Year and become my devil queen. But you didn't keep your promise. Bo Yang's heart suddenly turned sour and turned into a pool of spring water. I'm sorry, no, you did the right thing. You saved yourself, which means you saved me. Ji Yuan rubbed his chin against the top of his head. Let's make up for the wedding we owe in the real world, okay? Bo Yang's eyes were a little red. He nodded gently in his arms. Okay. Episode 4. Ji Yuan and Bo Yang got married under Old Man Bo's stinky face. The two families arranged a super luxurious wedding. And what was special was that their wedding was not Chinese or Western style. It was magical. Ji Yuan's wedding dress was a red robe with a coiled dragon on it. He wore a wig with long hair on his head. He looked very handsome. Bo Yang wore a similar outfit and a wig with slightly curly black hair. That was how they would look in the virtual world. The wedding venue was even rented in the palace of the film base. Everything was arranged according to the Palace of Eternal Darkness in the virtual world. Of course, the wedding venue was in the film base. The meal was in another place. Originally, they did not want to make a big scene, but Ji Yuan was very happy. He actually announced that he was going to marry Bo Yang. With his current status, the announcement immediately attracted the attention of many people. Several media outlets also reported on it. Especially when they found out that he was going to marry a man, the media was boiling. The news of Bo Yang and Ji Yuan's marriage immediately became the hot search headlines. On the day of the wedding, the film base was filled with people. They all came to watch their wedding. There were also media outlets that broadcasted the entire event online, attracting countless people to watch it online. They must have gotten together through gaming. Everyone who watched the wedding said. So such rich people actually play games too. Someone said excitedly. Ji Yuan's team immediately started to create an online game and used artificial intelligence technology. The wedding ended in the public's discussion. Ji Yuan and Bo Yang finally rested. In the new room, the two of them looked at each other. The atmosphere was very good, so they found the feeling of being in the virtual world. Ji Yuan suddenly became excited. Bo Yang was also very excited. The two of them quickly hugged and kissed each other. Then, aha! There was a shrill scream in the quiet villa. They had all forgotten that they had done it so many times in the virtual world that they were already big water tanks. However, in the real world, Bai Yang was still a virgin. The result of forcing himself on her was that Bai Yang was sent to the hospital. The problem was that this was actually King filmed and became the hot search again. End of chapter 104. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video to support the channel.